You ever feel like you're just running on a financial treadmill? You're putting in the work, you're trying to do all the right things, but it just feels like you're not really getting anywhere. But what if I told you that you might be in way better shape than you think? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the real signs of financial health, but ones you might be totally overlooking.
Man, it is so easy to get caught up in that comparison trap, isn't it? You hop online, you see friends buying brand new cars or posting these epic vacation photos, and it's hard not to feel like, wow, I am really falling behind. But here's the thing. What if all that stuff we're chasing is just smoke and mirrors? What if true wealth is actually invisible?
And this slide right here really gets to the heart of it all. We're sort of programmed to think that spending money equals success. But real financial health? It's not about the fancy car in the driveway. It's about that emergency fund that's quietly growing in the bank. It's not the vacation pics. It's having debt that you can actually manage. It's all the boring, invisible stuff that happens behind the scenes.
So if all that flashy stuff isn't the real scoreboard, then what is? Over the next few minutes, we're going to dig into the actual signs that show you're on the right track with your money.
Okay, I want you to picture this. Imagine you're walking a tightrope. It's way up high, you're trying to keep your balance. What's the one thing you want more than anything else? A safety net, right? Of course. Well, that's exactly what your savings are. They're your financial safety net. And they are, without a doubt, the foundation of a healthy financial life.
All right, take a look at this number. $5,000. What does that number mean to you? Does it feel like a lot? Not so much? Well, before you decide, I want to give you some context, because where this number falls in the grand scheme of things might totally change how you see your own progress.
This chart might actually blow your mind. A survey from the Motley Fool Ascent found that 71% of all U.S. households have $5,000 or less in savings. Seriously, think about that for a second. If you have managed to save more than $5,000, you are already ahead of the vast majority of people out there.
And the picture gets even sharper when we look at this data from Fidelity. Get this, a staggering 41% of people have less than $500 tucked away. That means one flat tire could be a major crisis. And on the other end, only about 1 in 5 people has broken that $10,000 mark. So next time you're feeling down about your savings, please remember these numbers. You are probably doing way better than you think.
But, it's not just about the raw dollar amount in your bank account. It's really about how long that money can keep you afloat. And that's where this idea of a liquidity ratio comes in. Just think of it like this. It's your personal financial runway. It tells you exactly how many months you could survive, covering all your must-haves if your income just, poof, vanished tomorrow.
So what's a good target to shoot for? Well, most financial planners will tell you the sweet spot is having enough cash on hand to cover at least 3 to 6 months of your essential expenses. If you've managed to build up even a 3-month buffer, you've basically created this incredible force field that can handle most of the curveballs life decides to throw at you.
Now let's flip the script and talk about the other side of the equation, debt. Because let's be real, being financially healthy isn't just about how much you have, it's also about how well you manage what you owe. So how much debt is too much debt? Well, Fidelity has a really great rule of thumb for this. The idea is that your non-mortgage debt, so we're talking car loans, student loans, credit cards, all that stuff, should take up less than 15% of your gross before tax income. If your monthly payments are under that line, that's a huge sign that your debt is under control and it isn't strangling your financial future.
And here's where the magic really happens. When you put those two things together, a solid savings cushion and debt you can actually handle, your entire reality changes. A user on Reddit put it perfectly. Unexpected expenses stop being catastrophes and they just become bumps in the road. The car engine blows up? Okay, that's a huge pain, but it's not a full-blown financial crisis. That feeling, right there, is one of the biggest, most underrated signs of true financial health.
Okay, so once that foundation of stability is in place, we can start talking about something even bigger. This is where we move beyond just surviving and start building a life that has true, long-term security and, honestly, happiness.
I love this quote from the Journal of Financial Therapy because it just nails it. The research confirms what we kind of already know in our gut, right? There is a direct, powerful connection between slowly but surely building up your assets and how good you feel about your money. It's that feeling of progress, of building something solid for your future.
So how do you know if you're really on track for the long game? Fidelity points to 2 super clear signs. First, you are consistently, even if it's just a little bit, putting money into your retirement accounts. And second, your net worth, so everything you own minus everything you owe, is tracking above the average for your age group. If you're checking those boxes, you're not just stable today, you are actively building a wealthier tomorrow.
But here's the thing. Financial health isn't just about the numbers on a spreadsheet. Maybe the most important sign of all is something you can't even measure: your mindset. It's about the way you think and the habits that guide every single dollar you spend or save.
And man, this slide, which was inspired by a great Reddit discussion, gets right to the core of that mindset shift. It's about learning to choose long-term happiness over short-term pleasure. It's about realizing that the quick hit from an impulse buy is nothing compared to the deep, lasting security you feel when a bill is finally paid off, or that quiet satisfaction you get from just watching your investments grow over time.
And that brings us to a really crucial point that not enough people talk about. The writer at Strong Money Australia calls it the boring middle. It's that really long, quiet stretch after you've set up all your automatic savings, but long before you hit those huge, life-changing goals. You can feel slow. It can feel like nothing's happening. But that quiet, boring middle, that's where the real work gets done. That is where fortunes are built.
So how do you get through the boring middle without losing your mind? Well, first, just reframe how you see it. Be grateful for the progress you've already made. Second, look for ways to speed things up even a little. Can you earn a bit more? Trim one expense? Third, make the future feel real. Start planning what you'll actually do with all that freedom. And finally, maybe the finish line is closer than you think. You could consider a semi-retirement to start enjoying life a little more, a little sooner.
So, what's the big takeaway here? Well, maybe it's that we all need to redefine what success looks like. Maybe financial health isn't some dollar amount you hit or a finish line you cross. Maybe it's just a journey. Maybe it's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you have a plan, that you're making steady progress, and that you're building a life that is secure, stable, and truly yours. And that sounds like a pretty great journey to be on.